So I'm out playing golf with this guy I've never met, trying to explain to him what I do for a living, and of course we start talking about TVs. And then the next thing you know, I'm talking about fine wines. Now I know what you're thinking, Caleb, what do wines and TV have in common? Well, we're about to find out. Welcome back everyone, I'm Caleb Dennison and this is my review 2.0, or maybe we just call it a deep dive, on the Sony A95k qd-oled TV. Welcome to it. So what do TVs and wines have in common? Well, nothing outside of my on-the-spot need for a relatable metaphor while golfing with some guy who, well, he owns a vineyard and he digs wine, and it just made sense at the time to try and help this guy distinguish among several high-end TVs. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that the Sony A95k really benefits from this metaphor. So by the end of this video, we'll be talking about wine again. But before we do that, let's take a step back and give the A95k another look with the benefit of the last 5 months now being in the rearview mirror. And before I get all nostalgic for 5 months ago, you know the deal. I need your help and I appreciate it tremendously. So click some buttons, leave a comment, share the love. 1 million subs and the big giveaway that comes with it. I can feel it. We're getting close and you can make it happen faster. Okay, thanks. Let's dive in. So for those of you who didn't know or maybe just forgot, I first evaluated the Sony A95k in late February 2022 in San Diego. I was at Sony headquarters one day and then we set up a pop-up studio in downtown San Diego and shot some pretty B-roll in one room while I worked on another TV in the other room. Now to be clear, I've not seen the A95k since then, and I mention this because I saw some videos out there thinking it was odd that I've had the A95k in my studio for so long and haven't come out with a full review yet. And I think there may be some confusion about our production process or something, but the A95k here, the one you're seeing in this video right now, didn't show up until just over a week before I shot this video. Anyway, a lot has happened in those 5 months. Since then, the Samsung S95B has come out, a competing QD-OLED TV, and then you've got the LG G2 OLED, which has been gathering some great reviews, including from myself. And also Samsung's QN900B Mini LED TV, also making some waves. So we've had a bit to chew on. I mean, I certainly have, since I got my first look at the A95k. Now it's time to take a look at the A95k through a new lens. A little less starry-eyed about QD-OLED in general, a little more aware of how the competition is looking, and also, since I've been able to live with this TV for a while, we can get into a bunch of factors that you just can't touch when you've got limited time for an evaluation. Now, a few things haven't changed. For instance, this TV measured almost exactly the same as the unit I measured a few months back. Its out-of-box color performance is impeccable, to the point that a proper calibration requires very little adjustment and yields only marginal improvements. Its peak white brightness doesn't break any records like the LG G2 or even the Samsung S95B, though if you throw color accuracy out the window and juice the right settings, it can certainly throw out some big numbers. But as I said before, the perceived brightness of this TV punches right up there with the best of them because its color brightness abilities are simply next level, which I'll touch on in a moment. Stepping away from the measurements, the monolithic design you see here remains unique and in my opinion is attractive, with an extremely heavy stand that you can place in the back or in the front as you choose. Now if you put it in the back, you'll get a little lean back on the TV, but not too much. Oh, and it's stable. There are two HDMI 2.1 inputs, one of which is the eARC input. The TV also supports ATSC 3.0, as you can see here. Speaking of support, it does HDR10 and Dolby Vision and supports Dolby Atmos. And by the way, as far as the sound goes, the speakers are built into the TV panel itself, plus there are two subwoofers around the back to enhance bass. And since there are speaker terminals on this TV, it can also take the center channel feed from an AV receiver if you want the TV itself to be the center speaker. The remote control is slimmed down, backlit for easier use at night, and you can even get it to chime in case you misplace it. It also supports voice control if you don't want the TV always listening for a wake word, but the TV will do that if you ask it to. Finally, the TV does ship with this Bravia cam, which can act as a webcam for video meetings, automatically adjust the picture and sound settings depending on where you're seated, warn you not to sit too close to the TV just like your mom used to do, and apparently can support gesture control as well. However, I've never seen that work well on any TV before. Unfortunately, I've not been able to test any of those things because as far as I know, the Bravia Cam features are not yet activated. You know what though? This is totally a fun or gimmicky feature, and in my opinion, not really a selling point anyway. So that's the quick recap, no big changes or surprises. Now at this point, I have to tell you that I have, at least in my mind, rewritten what I'm about to say about this TV more times than I can count. There's just so much going on here. It's really easy to get mired in tiny little details and in the process lose sight of the big picture. So I'm gonna keep this as straightforward as I possibly can. We'll dig into some of the nitty-gritty on this TV when we compare it to the LG G2, for instance. But right now, I just wanna tell you what you need to know about this TV. Here's what it comes down to. The A95K is, in my opinion, the finest TV Sony has ever made. And it's easily in contention to take the crown as the best TV in 2022. In fact, if it weren't for the strong competition out there, the A95K's super premium price tag, and the fact that this TV is only available in 55 and 65-inch sizes, then this would be the most slam dunkiest win for Sony like ever. The picture quality is just so freaking good. Color brightness, color accuracy, overall contrast, motion resolution. All of those factors are extremely impressive on their own, but when you combine them all together in this one TV, the net effect is striking. Perhaps the best endorsement I can give this TV is the story about how I'm seeing content I've watched literally hundreds of times in a completely new light. There are colors here that I've not seen before. The vibrancy and depth is absolutely next level. I love, 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 love this TV, and I wish everyone could have one. But the fact of the matter is, this TV is not for everyone. And that may be a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. So let me explain why. The first reason, and probably the most obvious, is price. The A95K is expensive. So while it may technically have the best overall picture quality I've ever seen on a TV, the margin of improvement over competing TVs like the Samsung S95B and the LG G2, for example, it's small enough that the jump in price might not be worth it for some folks. The second reason is size. Pure and simple, this TV is only available in 55 and 65 inches, so if you want something bigger, you need to consider something else, like the G2 OLED. And the final reason the A95K may not be the right TV for you is if you frequently watch TV during the day in a very bright room where some of the picture quality advantages this TV offers might be lost a little to ambient brightness in your room. And that's it. From where I sit, those are the three instances in which the Sony A95K is not the best TV choice. Otherwise, this TV has got it going on in just about every meaningful way. It is a remarkable achievement. It's amazing for watching movies. Again, you'll see movies in a new way. It's amazing for just general everyday TV watching. I mean, even lackluster cable and satellite broadcasts look as good as they've ever looked on this TV. And also, and I know I'm gonna catch a little heat saying this, but I can take it, it's also great for playing video games. Like, I'll stop short of saying it's the ultimate TV for gaming, but the person who is shopping for the ultimate gaming TV isn't looking for the Sony A95K anyway. But for those of you out there for whom picture quality is the most important thing and a great gaming experience is a very close second, the A95K has just about everything most folks need. Maybe it doesn't do full 444 chroma at 4K 120. That's okay. If you actually need that, you can look elsewhere. It only has two HDMI 2.1 ports, and one of them is an eARC port. That's okay too. Look, if you have the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, and a high-end gaming PC with a next-level GPU, and you want to connect them all to the A95K, then get a kick-ass AV receiver to do your switching for you because you clearly have the resources to do so, and you deserve killer sound to go with all of your other toys. Look, it all comes down to this. The Sony A95K is like a really expensive, very fine wine. It's refined, loaded with character, and offers